Alright, this is my game, Apartments, made by BudLeiser. This is going to be a quick overview. I've already set up the board here. We have the end of game awards, we have the tile pieces, we have the reputations, we have the renters, we have the swap column, row, and we have our tenants. I've taken a player board and I've dealt myself 5 cards as an example. So in the first round, you're going to play one of your cards. Sorry, discard pile should be somewhere over here. I'll put it over here today. Alright, you play one of your cards and you take one of the 2 pieces. So I can take a pool or a penthouse. For this example, I'm going to take a pool and put it somewhere on my board. I can put it in any of the grid. I cannot let it go overhang outside of the grid in any way. And I cannot stack any pieces on top of each other. That's not allowed. So that'll be my turn, and it'll be somebody else's turn because there's no possible way to take a renter reputation with only 1 tile. In the next turn, I'll play another pool, and I'll place it anywhere on my board, but I'm going to place it together so that I can start qualifying for the end of game reward award, biggest pool. Because I have 2 pools anywhere on my board, I can take the Reputation Water Park. The first reputation is worth 15 victory points. The next person takes reputation for 10, then 5. So it goes down in value the longer you wait, so you want to take it early. That'll be the end of my turn, as I'm not able to take any renters yet. For my next move, I'm going to swap this card with one from the swap row, so I can play this loft card. This loft card lets me take one of these renters. Each of the renters has an occupation. That's just funny. So this one's a firefighter, pretty normal, but this one's a digital prophet. It doesn't matter which one you take because they're both worth 15 points because that's what a loft is worth. So I'm going to take the loft and pool card because I'm going to put my loft next to my pool like so. And because this loft is occupied, I'm going to take a renter token, any color, doesn't matter, and put it into my apartment. This shows that this apartment is occupied and cannot be used again. So even though there's another card that is similar to this card, I cannot take it unless I play another loft next to my pool, thus creating an empty space for the tenant to move into. Alright? Once that card is taken, a new card comes out. So there's always 7 cards, 7 renters that can be taken. And I've stuck to some clean symmetry here. There's 2 cards on the swap row. You'll always play a game with 15 or 16 cards total, so it changes depending upon the number of players. There's always 7 renters, 7 reputations, 7 tile pieces, and 7 awards. That could change during development and testing, but I've stuck with it for good symmetry. Play continues. You play 1 card, take a piece, add it to your board. Next time, take a card, add it to your board, etc., etc. Here, I have a playground next to a penthouse, but there's no playground next to penthouse renter. If other players take the renters, the new cards will be available when it comes to my turn. In this case, the nurse or the ghost hunter are available on my turn. And I'll take the ghost hunter and mark it as occupied by playing a tenant inside of the piece. At the end of the game, you should have a nearly full board. Sometimes you can't fit a piece in, that's okay. Then you look at who wins the awards. The biggest garden is the most connected garden side by side. So for example, if you had something like this, 3 gardens in a row, you might win the biggest garden award and take 20 points. If more players have a tie, then you divide the 20 points among all the players who are tied for example, of 3 gardens next to each other. You do the same thing for playgrounds, the same thing for pools. Then you also count the most amenities, so that's pools, playgrounds, and gardens, anywhere on your board. So in this example, I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I would possibly score for that. The next one is the most renters. So this is the most apartments that are filled with tokens. You would get that. The most reputations. So if you've got the most of these reputations, you could take that. And last is the fullest board. So that means having the least number of empty spaces on your board. You would take that. Then you would count up all of your points, which are easily readable from all the cards. and or sometimes stack up to nice easy combinations of 30 points. Here we have an 18 and a 12. always possible to get a couple 15s, and then the condos are worth 10. So it's easy to get stacks of 30 going. Again, the reputations are worth 15, 10, and 5, so easy to make stacks of 20 or 30, and each award is worth 20 if you get it. That's a pretty clear, quick example of how the game is played. The number of rounds depends on the number of players, and will also determine the number of cards that get dealt, and all of that is explained in the first page or the second page of the setup book. Thank you.